Hello, hello, my dear students. I'm Palvanova Nadira Biktirgenovna. Today I'm responsible to deliver lesson 7. And the theme of this lesson is living the dream, as you see on the screen of my computer. And this lesson includes all skills. They are reading, listening, writing, and speaking. It's devoted for the second course students of technical faculties of Tashkent Railway Engineering Institute. So, let's go to the major point of the lesson. We look at the outlines. First, we start from the vocabulary, which includes exercises 1A and 1B. In exercise A, we should discuss and answer to the 3 questions like, the first is, would you like to change anything in your life? And the second is, what would you change and why? It is the third question. If you like to answer these questions correctly, let's watch the video about the changers. Then we look through all phrasal verbs from the text. They are in bold, and some exercises from the page 68 and 69. After that, you can see the task for homework, and at the end, to watch the video Dream Big. Well, we start from the vocabulary. It's about the verbs and prepositions. And in exercise 1A, we should to work in pairs. We should to discuss and answer as you say above, below. 3 questions like, would you like to change anything in your life? And what would you like to change and why? There are 3 questions. And in B, we should to read the text. But first of all, watch the video, please. The video is about the changers.
I feel good about life at the moment. I live in a fantastic city and I'm really happy with my job at the BBC. Tell me about you.
I have a fabulous partner, 4 beautiful children, a great job, and I live in London.
I'm enjoying my life at the moment because I have a good circle of friends, I have a job that I really enjoy, and I've just bought a flat.
I enjoy living in the UK and I've been over here for about 9 years, so I do enjoy my life. Yeah, I'm about to go on holiday, so I am quite, looking forward to that.
I'm happy with, where I am. I've just graduated for 2 weeks.
My life's great. I've got 2 lovely children, great husband, and I've just finished paying for my house.
I've got a career opportunity going on, progressing a bit, started a new one, just changed the career a couple of years back, started a family as well, bought a house. Things like that, things are going well, so I'm so far happy.
Is there anything you'd like to change?
Eventually, not at the moment. Things are going on.
Well, not so well at the moment, no. A little bit more travel.
I'd like to be richer.
Nothing that I can think of.
I'd like to go on more holidays.
I would like to get into graphic design. That's something that I really want to change.
I'd like to be able to afford to join a gym so that I could get fitter.
My life has changed a lot in the past 10 years. I've lived in 3 different countries. How about you? How has your life changed in the last few years?
My life has changed quite a bit in the last 2 years, specifically in that I had a 5-year break from work, put my career on hold, and returned back to full-time employment.
I've recently had a young girl, a daughter, my wife's given birth, and that's a big change in your life.
I'm living in a new area that I hadn't lived in before, so it's completely new to that part of London. So that's probably the biggest change.
10 years ago, I was a student, and so I used to get up late, and I used to have lots of time, and now I have to go to work.
My life has changed. I've developed more of an established career. I've moved around quite a bit since I moved to the United Kingdom.
Yeah, changed in every possible way, really. Career-wise, I made a big decision of changing my career, coming to HSBC, and then personal life, got married, had my first child, bought my first property.
I've had a family, and so I don't see so much of my friends anymore. We do a lot of family things, and a lot of my friends have moved out of London, so we don't get together so much anymore.
Well, my dear students, and we continue. I think the video like to you. And look at the exercise 1B. Let's look through all the phrasal verbs from the text Living the Dream. First of all, we should look through. There are eight phrasal verbs. The first is look for. I explain you what is this, the meaning of this phrasal verb look for. Look for someone or something. The meaning is, or definition, to hope to get something that you want or need. For example, look for something new. The second one is dream about. Dream about or dream of, but dream about something. The meaning of this phrasal verb is to think about something that you want very much. And the third one is travel around. Travel around, the meaning of this phrasal verb is, or definition, to travel a lot of places, and the fourth is move to, or move towards something, or move to something. The meaning or definition of this phrasal verb is to change from a particular place or system or activity or to another. And the fifth one is think about. Think about, the meaning of this phrasal verb is have on one's mind, think about, actively, take into consideration, or have in view. Have in view. And the sixth one is go back. Go back means, or definition of this phrasal verb, to turn to a person. To turn to a person or place or subject or activity. This is the meaning of this phrasal verb. And the seventh one is wait for. Wait for means to be accepting someone or something, and be prepared to deal with him, her, or it means. And the last one is the eighth, get away. Get away, the meaning or definition of this phrasal verb, to leave or escape from a person or place. Often when it's difficult to do this. After I explain you and give you the definitions and explain the meaning of this all 8 phrasal verbs, and let's read all the text. Are you bored with your life or your job? Do you do the same thing every day? Perhaps it's time to look for something new. Every year, thousands of people dream about changing their lives. Many want to give up their jobs and start a new career, or move house, or learn a new skill. Lots of people say they'd like to do something different, like travel around the world, or to move a new country, but only a few people actually follow their dreams. Around holiday times, a quarter of people in the UK, for example, think about changing jobs. But when the holiday finishes, they just go back to work as normal. Others wait for an opportunity their whole lives, but it never comes, unfortunately. The BBC talked to Jessica Fox, who wanted to get away from her life in the California sunshine to move to Scotland and run a second-hand bookshop. She tells about how she made her dream come true. But before doing answer these all questions, we should to do the exercise 2A. 2A. It's about we should to complete the sentence with the phrases in bold from the text in exercise 1B. For example, the first sentence is, I sometimes think about doing a different job. Before I explain you all 8 phrasal verbs, the first is think about, and you should to put where they missed in each sentences these phrasal verbs from the text. I think you understand what I said. And we continue to do next exercise. It's about Jessica. It was the last part of the text about the Jessica. Jessica Fox left her dream job in sunny California to move across the world to live in Scotland. Which place would you prefer to live in, and why do you think she moved? You should to answer these questions by yourself. But first of all, but I would like to say just one thing. It's about exercise 4A, as you see on our screen. Listen to the interviewer again, answer the questions. They're connected. Exercise, as you see on the screen, 3A and 4A, they're connected. Now we'll listen the recording about Jessica, recording 7, unit 7, recording 1. Please listen and try to answer all these questions by yourself. There are 3 parts. Okay, let's start.
Unit 7. Changes. Recording 1. Part 1.
Now, have you ever daydreamed about changing your life forever? About giving up your job and setting off for a distant country where you can find love and happiness? Well, Jessica Fox did just that, and she's on the line now to tell us about her journey. Jessica, welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, you started your journey in Los Angeles. Tell me about your life there. What was your job? What sort of lifestyle did you have?
I was consulting for NASA, and I was doing what I loved. I was living in a city that I adored, and I had an extraordinary network of friends. There was, I can only describe it as like an abstract taste that I was missing. And so I really began, it was about a year, I began daydreaming of something quite different.
And did you have an actual vision of what the change might be?
I would often sit down in my studio and just dream of different things, and usually they turned into the screenplays I was writing. And this dream kept on coming back of working in a used bookshop by the sea. And
working in a used bookshop by the sea?
In Scotland, yes.
In Scotland, right. Have you ever had any connection with used bookshops or Scotland before?
None. Absolutely none.
Part 2.
And so did you set about doing something to realise the dream?
Yeah, and it happened quite quickly actually. I typed in used bookshop Scotland into Google, and Wigtown came up. Scotland's national book town of, I think it was about 16 bookshops. And I thought, oh my gosh, one of them hopefully would take me in for kind of a live-work exchange while I was on holiday, and I could realise this dream.
So did you just send an email to these bookshops and ask them to take you in?
I sent one email to the first bookshop on the list, which was the Bookshop, and it was the largest used bookshop in Scotland. And within a couple of emails, the sort of extraordinary, generous bookshop owner said, yeah, I host a lot of other artists. Come on over for the festival.
And so you came over
I did.
and you stayed at the bookshop. What sort of a bookshop was it? What sort of impression did it make on you when you first arrived?
I would describe it as if Harry Potter had a bookshop, this would be it.
And what about the bookshop owner? Did you get on with him?
I did. I was here for a specific reason. I really wanted to get away from things I wanted to write. So when I first met the bookshop owner, it was a friendly relationship I had with him. I didn't get to know him very much until towards the end of my stay.
Part 3.
Your month ended and you went back to LA. Did you find yourself missing the shop and missing the owner?
Yeah, I loved the shop. I loved the town itself and the people there. And it took me a while to admit it was actually most of all the bookshop owner that I was missing.
And how did you find out that he was missing you too?
We would correspond over email and Skype, and I'd get lovely packages from him, things I missed about Wigtown.
Such as?
This is terrible, such as the biscuits, the digestive biscuits that I absolutely adore. And a lot of the sweets and movies. I fell in love with Scottish films.
So your relationship deepened. Did you think, well, maybe I'm falling in love with this man?
Yeah, and I think the reason why it took so long for me to admit was it meant a radical life shift. And luckily, my job shifted at NASA, so suddenly I had this freedom of being able to be anywhere in the world that I wanted. And I just thought, well, why let all my characters in my movies have all the fun? I wanted to jump in and try this. This was a true challenge and adventure.
So tell me about your life now, living above the bookshop in Scotland.
Well, right now there's a heater underneath my legs. It is absolutely freezing. There's ice crawling up the windows, but it is very cozy. The snow's just hit here. It's beautiful outside, and Wigtown remains, 4 years on, remains as charming as when I first came.
How's it going with the bookshop owner?
Wonderful. You couldn't find a more beautiful place, and you couldn't find more excellent people, and the love of my life's here. So,
Jessica, it's been wonderful to speak to you.
Thank you so much for having me.
And it was exercise 4A. You listened the interview, and I think you gave your own answers to all 3 parts. And we continue our lesson. Now, the grammar. Let's talk about the grammar. Today we talk about the use to, the verb use to, when we should to use it. The first is, look at the grammar. Look at the box, please. The first we talk about the affirmative sentence, how it's formed in the affirmative sentence, it's subject plus use to plus infinitive. For example, I used to go to the cinema every Saturday. It is the form. And now about the negative sentence. Negative sentence, subject plus the auxiliary verb and the negative note and the used to verb and the plus infinitive. For example, they didn't used to go on holiday. And the last one, the question form, question sentence. We should put the first auxiliary verb did. After that, plus subject, plus the verb used to, and infinitive. For example, did you used to work hard? Be careful when you use in the sentences auxiliary verb did or didn't. As you see at the end of the verb, you can see only used to, not use it to. Okay? Well, look at the note. It's very important. Notice the spelling of used to in the negative and question form, as I said below. And the example is, we didn't used to live in a big house. It's right, but you shouldn't use in negative, we didn't used to live. You shouldn't put the and d when you use auxiliary verb in the negative didn't. And the last one, the question form. Did you used to play a lot of football? It's right. Did you use it to play? It's wrong. And I think you will be careful when you use this form in the negative and question. Let's talk about used to. We use used to talk about a past habit or situation which is not the same now. What is the habit? As you remember, habit, it's something that you do often and regularly, sometimes without knowing that you are doing it. And what is a situation? Situation, the set of things that are happening and the conditions that exist at a particular time and place. Well, and look at the examples. We used to live in London, means what? But now we live in Warsaw. As you see, we use to in this sentence because we talk about the situation in the past. And the second is, I used to play a lot of tennis, but I don't play anymore. It means it was the habit in the past. That's why we used to, but now we don't play anymore. That's why we used to. But it's possible to use the past simple instead of used to. For example, I used to go out a lot, and at the same time you may use I went out a lot. Be careful. To the next part is it is not possible to use used to talk about something which happened just once. It means only one time, okay? And or at a specific time. For this, such as these situations, you should to use the past simple. For example, we moved in 2002. Why we use past simple? What do you think? Because we indicate the date. Look at the indicate date, 2002. That's why we use past simple. But if you use the second example, we use it to move in 2002, it will be wrong. It is not possible to use used to talk about the present time. Be careful. I usually eat at home. It's right. I use it to eat at home. It's wrong. Because you eat every day. Because you use adverb usually. That's why. And the negative of used to is didn't used to. But in spoken English, never used to is more common. For example, they never used to worry about money. It means they didn't use the auxiliary verb did or didn't, and the negative forms, I mean. We never used to eat chocolate. And after the explanation of this grammar used to, we should do exercise. Look at the exercise. Exercise 5A. Read the sentence A to C and answer the questions. Well, the first is A. Jessica used to live in California. B is she didn't used to work in a bookshop. And the C1 is what did she used to dream about. As you can see, there are 5 sentences from 1 to 5. Read them. Did Jessica live in California in the past? The second one is, does she live in California now? The third is, did Jessica work in a bookshop in the past? And the fourth is, does she work in a bookshop now? And the fifth is the ask question. Ask about the past or present. The ask question. What do you think? Ask about the past or present? I think it's about the present because you use the auxiliary verb does. But this question you should to do by yourself, and I'll check up when I see you next time. And we continue our lesson, and the next exercise is it's exercise 6A from the page 69. Well, in this exercise we should to find and correct the mistakes. There are mistakes in 4 of sentences, but on your screen you cannot see the word for, but you listen to me and I think you understand. It means there are 6 sentences and 4 have mistakes. Clear? But only two are right. 4 are wrong. Very nice. But let's read and try to do it by yourself. After that, we listen the recording 7.2. Recording 2 means. But first of all, do it by yourself. When I was a child, I used to cycle to school yesterday. What do you think? Is it right or wrong? Think about it a little. The second is, my brother always used to listen to heavy metal music. Is it right or wrong? My family used to live in a different city. Well, what do you think about it? Right or wrong? I used to stay up all night dancing. Now I get tired at 10 p.m. We didn't used to have any pets. And the last one is, it means 6. We used to go skiing in the holidays last year. Be careful, because you can see, I think, the mistakes in each 4 sentences. And now let's listen and practice on your listening skills, listening the recording 2 and 3. 2 recordings, okay? Recording recording 2 and recording 3. Let's listen.
Unit 7, Recording 2. 1. When I was a child, I used to cycle to school. 2.
My brother always used to listen to heavy metal music.
3. My family used to live in a different city. 4.
I used to stay up all night dancing. Now I get tired at 10 p.m.
5. We didn't used to have any pets. 6.
We used to go skiing in the holidays.
Unit 7, Recording 3. 1. Used to. I used to cycle to school. When I was a child, I used to cycle to school. 2.
Used to. Used to listen. My brother always used to listen to heavy metal music.
3. Used to. Used to live. My family used to live in a different city. 4.
Used to. Used to stay up. I used to stay up all night dancing.
5. Didn't used to. Didn't used to have any pets. We didn't used to have any pets. 6.
Used to. Used to go skiing. We used to go skiing in the holidays.
Okay. Okay, as you see, I think you understand where were the mistakes in each four sentences. Only two sentences were right. They were, my family used to live in a different city, I think, the same as yours, and I used to stay up all night dancing. Now I get tired at 10 p.m. These sentences 3 and sentence 4 were right. Well, and the next is home task, my dears. Well, home task, the two exercises, exercise A and exercise B. In exercise A, you should to complete the sentence with the used to or didn't use to and the words in brackets. I think it wasn't. It will be not difficult to you to do this exercise because I explain everything. And the B is, it's not difficult. I think it's simple because you see all the 3 pictures. Look at the pictures and how have things changed. Complete the sentence. Only complete the missing words. Okay. Use then or now. Well, it will be your home task, but at the end of this lesson, I'll offer you to watch the video about the dream big.
From the beginning, engineers have shaped our world. They make the impossible possible. One new idea can change everything. Engineers create.
Well, we're trying to get kids excited about engineering, and we basically want to show why engineering is a great profession, why they should be inspired to help others all around the world make a better life for themselves.
They see this film and they think easily, that could be me. I'm that kid in that classroom. I'm going to be designing that bridge. I'm going to be helping these people, and I'm going to be changing the world.
Dream Big is more than just a film. It's an entire educational program. Engineering is now part of the curriculum for the next generation science standards. So we put together a whole toolkit for educators. We have hands-on activities, 12 lesson plans, 10 educational videos, and we have 1 million engineers excited to work with students and introduce them to the world of engineering.
It's taking it from the textbook and bringing it into real life. It definitely covers all the standards, everything, engineering, technology, mathematics, geology, social studies, and also just compassion. I think so many times that's not necessarily a standard that's written down, but it was a theme throughout the film. It's not just about how big of a tower can we make. This is really affecting people's lives.
The great thing about seeing the movie in IMAX is that children will see people like them doing things that help others, and they'll feel like they are there.
It just blew me away. The fact that the screen was enormous, and you're just sitting there thinking, I can't believe this is even real. Gives me goosebumps every time.
IMAX is the next best way to experience real life, and I think that is the key in getting kids interested in science.
They will be the next change makers. Every student in every classroom is the next change maker right now, and I really feel that this film can inspire them to go out and take that first step.
The joy of engineering the future belongs to the young. What better time to start dreaming big?
Okay, my dear students, you watch the video and I think it's like you because engineers make better our life, but don't forget, I'll check all home tasks. And I said to say you goodbye, my dears. See you next time.